All right, everybody, on behalf of Masterpiece Title, I want to welcome you guys to exactly what to say to your clients before the year ends. Today, we're just going to talk scripts. We're going to really talk about the importance of making sure you make some calls, some contacts before the end of the year here. And then I'm going to give you 7 scripts that you should be using before the end of the year. We're going to cover buyers, sellers, database, FSBOs, expireds, a little bit of everything. And then we will wrap up. Won't be too long of a call today, but we are going to hit a lot of scripts. Those of you that I don't know, my name's Ryan McHugh. I think I know everybody on here, but I work with Masterpiece and Fidelity National. And my job is to help you guys grow and build your business. So if we've met in person or on Zoom before, welcome back. If this is your first time, thanks for being here. I come from the sales side of the business. I ran the top real estate team in the state of Florida. I'm doing between 40 and 50 closings a month for a little over 3 years, and then one of the top real estate offices in Florida with over 200 agents. So I come from the sales background and kind of always have that realtor background hat on. So we are going to cover scripts today that I have used, that I have in place with some teams and some people that I coach today. So this is stuff right off the battlefield to kind of help you guys make sure you make the best end of your year possible. So why do people make calls before the end of the year? Why do we want to work these next 2 or 3 weeks that are left in the year? A couple reasons. Number one, we need inventory, right? We have an inventory shortage all over the country, not just in Florida, but we have an inventory shortage really, really badly in Florida that we absolutely need inventory for. Urgency right now, possibly higher than ever before because politics and the world and life and taxes and money and prices going up and rates going up, all these things are kind of combining, right, to make the perfect storm of buyer urgency to get into something. Affordability as we know it might be coming to an end, right? With prices still on the rise and now rates on the rise, we see affordability dropping off a little bit, which is scary for people that are on the fence or that are thinking about waiting. This holiday season now might be the busiest holiday season in a long time. If you think about it, people haven't seen family, friends, and some of their normals for some of them for 2 years, right? Because 2020 holiday season was pretty much wiped off the planet with COVID and lockdown and all that fun stuff. So that results in us having a busier holiday season now, which is a good reason to call because people are in front of people that they haven't been in a while. And we want to make sure if they're thinking about real estate, they're thinking about us. On the contrary to that, screen time is higher than ever, meaning mobile device, computer, cell phone usage, all those things are up. So other agents, other companies are trying to steal your people, right? They're trying to dig into your database. So we need to make sure we're calling them and talking to them so we don't miss out. Many people's I give up date comes around now, usually at the end of the year. So this is especially popular for FSBOs and expireds. You know, when they say I'm ready to list with a realtor or I'm done selling myself, it gets triggered in the next 2 or 3 weeks or their, dead end date is New Year's. And those that are willing to work are really going to reap those benefits in 2022. So if you're some of the people that don't mind working for these next 2 or 3 weeks, you're really going to have an opportunity to take advantage and have the best first quarter of 2022 than anybody else. So all of these are reasons why we need to make calls and connect with people right now. And I want to make sure that you guys are focused on this. So I'm going to give you a handful of scripts for each one of these. So let's talk about who to call. First, I want to touch on buyers, buyer leads, anyone in our database tied as a buyer lead or maybe a rental conversion, and why. First of all, less competition right now. A lot of people get out of the market right now. The buyers that are not super serious, that don't have to buy, they take the next 2 or 3 weeks off. So that gives buyers that want to get something done now a great chance, better than they've seen for a lot of them in the last year or two. So if they've been missing out or if they just decided to rent or put it on hold or whatever, these next 2 or 3 weeks are a golden opportunity for you to get them a deal and for them to get a deal and actually buy something when they have a little bit less competition because there's just less people in the marketplace right now. A lot of them right now are getting more time off to hunt right? There's the use it or lose it vacation days that people are coming up on. More people take off from Thanksgiving to New Year's than any other part of the year combined. So they're going to have some extra time to get in the car, which is good. We already talked about high affordability possibly coming to an end. We expect prices to keep pushing up next year. And we also expect rates to keep pushing up next year. So when that is happening, that's bringing affordability to an end as we know it. So the people that are on the fence, if they don't do something, if they don't take action now, they might get priced out of the market in the first quarter of next year. There's always the argument of the fixed payment versus the rental increases, right? If they have a mortgage, their payment is pretty much fixed. We can kind of anticipate where their taxes are going to go. And we know insurance climbs a little bit every year, but pretty much a fixed payment, where rentals, not always the case, right? Landlords are kind of striking back for the last 2 years and making sure that rates get pushed up. So rentals are becoming harder to find and harder to afford. And of course, home ownership is the ultimate wealth builder. So we want to make sure that we are reaching out to all of our buyers and not let them take off, right? All of our buyer leads and get them in the game, get them pre-approved, get them pre-qualified, all of our rental conversion people. And we want to use a script that looks a little bit like this. So for all the blanks today, I'm just going to use Joe Smith just to make it easier. So hi, Joe Smith. I wanted to touch base with you and wish you happy holidays. I know you've been thinking about buying your next home, and I just wanted to encourage you to do what no one else is willing to do. So do you have 30 seconds so I can tell you my plan? Great. Here's what we need to do. You see, most buyers exit the market between Thanksgiving and New Year's, and they lose out on the best time of the year for deals because the competition is low. Now, I am not going to let that happen to you. So here's my plan. Give me a list of a few days that you are willing to check out some homes throughout the holidays. And don't worry, if you want to take Christmas and New Year's and Festivus off, we can. But to completely exit the market now will cost you fortunes in the future. So what days can I get you in my car for an hour to see homes that will be the best deal for you with the least amount of time and the least amount of stress? So we want to use this script on our buyers. The next thing we want to touch on is sellers. Why do we want to call the sellers? Well, for the exact opposite reasons, right, of the buyers. Prices are high, highest they've been ever, right? Market's at the top of the top. Rates are still low-ish. So that means people can afford. Inventory is low. So being the only house on the market in the neighborhood or being one of few available is good. Simple supply and demand, economics 101, right? Affordability is still high. We don't know for how long, but it is still high. And there's less competition right now. So when there's less competition in the marketplace, that's good for the seller. Really, it's good for both. It's good for the sellers and the buyers. But if there's less competition in the marketplace, that's good for the sellers because that means they have less houses to choose from. So the buyers are going to pay. And the buyers that are out now have more urgency, right, guys? If they are out looking for houses in between Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Festivus, New Year's, all these things, they need to get something done, which means more likely stronger offers, better terms, shorter dates, right? Lower contingencies, all these things are better. So our seller script looks like this. Hi, Joe. Just wanted to touch base and wish you happy holidays. I know you've been thinking about selling, and I just want to encourage you to do what no one else is willing to do. Do you have 30 seconds so I can tell you my plan? Great. Here's what we need to do. You see, most sellers, they exit the market between Thanksgiving and New Year's and lose out on the best time of year to sell a home because buyers that are looking now have a heightened sense of commitment and urgency to get a deal done. Also, with affordability at an all-time high, teamed with the fact that prices may be the highest we've ever seen, now is the time to sell. So here's my plan. Let's get you on the market today. However, I want you to give me a few blackout dates that you just absolutely do not want to show or deal with people, and I will make sure I make that happen. I have a fiduciary responsibility to help you to sell your home for the most amount of money in the least amount of time with the least amount of stress, and I am going to stick to that. To completely exit the market now will cost you fortunes in the future, and I am not willing to let that happen. So would today at 2 or tomorrow at 4 be better to come over and get your home listed? So that's a basic seller script to make sure that we get them off the fence. All right, let's talk database. Why do we want to hit the database now? Why? Couple reasons. First of all, some of them are seeing friends and family for the first time in 2 years, right? We already said earlier, 2020 holidays were pretty much non-existent. So a lot of people are going to parties, whether it's family or work or social, and getting together with people that they haven't seen in a while. And naturally, real estate is going to come up. And if we're not top of mind, we're going to get left behind, right? Also, everyone knows someone who should be taking advantage of the market right now. We all know someone that's been in their home too long that should sell. That has a great opportunity to buy, or maybe it's time for them to invest. We all know that person, and we want to make sure we tell that story to as many people as we can to get these things converted. Also, the holidays are a perfect time to reconnect, even if you've been bad at follow-up, for the last year, 5 years, weeks, months, whatever. Now is the perfect time, because that reach out for the holidays, just a happy holidays, happy New Year, is easy to reconnect, even if you forgot about them. And of course, New Year's brings more changes than any other time of the year, right? This is when job changes happen, relocations happen, promotions happen. All of these things happen now that we want to make sure we get to take advantage of and we don't lose out on. So very simple database reconnection script. This is the simplest one of everything we're going to cover today. Hi, Joe. This is Ryan. Just want to touch base and wish you happy holidays. How's the family? Or how's whatever you have about them in the database from before. Any of the basic Ford questions, the family, occupation, recreation, dreams. It's just a warm reconnect. And no matter what they say, you're going to say, great. Let me ask you this. What are your real estate plans for 2022? How do you plan on taking advantage of the best market in real estate history? Whatever they say here, you're pushing for a close. So if they say, I want to buy, I want to sell, I don't know, I don't have any plans, I want to invest, no matter what they say, it's the same close. Great. Let's get together and discuss your options. Does today 2 or tomorrow at 4 work better for you? Also, while I have you, who do you know thinking of buying or selling a house in 2022 that I can help? Do not let your database, anyone in it, not make a move in 2022. If they don't want to buy something or sell, fine, make them invest in something, right? There is not one person that should not be doing a deal in 2022, no matter what side they're on. Someone should be doing it. And you need to get in front of them and pitch them their options. Now, if you are one of those people that is just scared to death to pick up the phone, it is just not going to happen. I know there's always those people, right, that are not going to pick up the phone. They're not going to make a call. If that's you, I get it. Send this script as a text, as a Facebook message, as an email. Send it with a carrier pigeon, whatever you need to do. Do not let your fear or reluctance of that phone make you not have a conversation with people before the end of the year. Because if you do, someone else will, and you will never recover that lost market share or ground that you lose by not working the next, whatever is left of the year, 18 days. All right, next, the FSBOs. FSBOs, why do we want to call them now? First of all, less competition in the marketplace right now, less traffic, because people are not doing the detective work and they're not going to see houses unless they have to. We said that already. So the FSBOs start shaking in their boots a little bit, right? And there's more of them failing now than they expected. Back in the day, the turnaround time or the conversion time on a FSBO for a realtor was very often 8 to 12 weeks, 2 to 3 months before they'd give up. Now, what's happened over the last 2 years has been good for us paired with FSBOs. Why? Because they're hearing in the news, they're hearing on social media, they're hearing from their friends, their kids' parents, that the market is so good and people are going on the market and they're selling in one day and over asking price. So when someone goes FSBO and they fail for a week or 2 weeks, they get worried they're going to miss out on the hype, right? If you've ever heard the term FOMO, fear of missing out, they get worried about that. They don't want to miss out on the market, so they give up earlier and hire a realtor. And usually whoever's top of mind is going to be the obvious hire, or at least the obvious interview to get in that door. So we want to make sure, even if we're not someone that works FSBOs regularly, hitting all the ones that are in your county, in your marketplace right now is absolutely clutch. And you can just use Zillow to do this, guys. You can just search them on Zillow, find them, and reach out. So simple script. You're going to say, hi, Joe. I know you've been selling your home yourself. And I just wanted to check to see if you had a date in mind that you'd be hiring a realtor. I ask because I have a fiduciary responsibility to all of my clients to get them the most amount of money for their home in the least amount of time with the least amount of stress. And although we aren't working together yet, I know I can do this for you in the next 30 days. And here's why. Not only most sellers, Joe, but most buyers and most agents right now, they're taking off. In fact, they started taking off since Halloween. It got worse at Thanksgiving, and it's really bad now. However, right now, buyer urgency is at an all-time high, and I guarantee I can get you more for your home this holiday season than you ever thought was possible. So here's what I'd like to do, Joe. I want to come over today at either 2 o'clock or tomorrow at 4 and show you in 30 minutes how I can get you more for your home than you ever thought was possible before the end of the year and close this thing in 30 days or less. So does today at 2 work, or would tomorrow at 4 be better? You need to have this conversation with the FSBOs in your marketplace right now, because you guys can steal some easy money and some easy deals right now, and then you're going to send them to us at Masterpiece. All right, expireds. Why expireds? Okay, so I like calling expireds on January 1st, okay? Why? Because 12/31 is the most expired day of the year. Because yes, we have the 6-month rather listing agreements ending, but also all the ones that end around the end of the year, people just make them end at the end of the year because it sounds good. It's a clean break. It's a mental thing, whatever. But January 1 is always the best day for appointment setters. Also, you lose all the I'll wait till next year, I'll wait till after the holidays. Those excuses are gone. And last but not least, kind of funny, but kind of true, a good hangover equals a good appointment, right? If they are hungover, they are not sharp, they're still a couple mimosas in when you're talking to them, that gives you the best opportunity to actually be able to convert them because they're not trying to outscript you. They got nothing left, right? They know it's New Year's. They know it's time for a change. So you need to take advantage of this. So what do we say? Hi, Joe. I know you'd failed to sell your home in the past, and I was just curious. Back when you were selling, where would you have gone if it sold in one day? Wow. What's important to you about that? And then let them tell all about it, right? Because you're going to use this later to your advantage. I can definitely understand that. Let me ask you this, Joe. Would it be worth 30 minutes of your time to show you why right now, during the holidays, is the absolute best time of the year to sell your home and get you to whatever they said up top in 30 days? If they say yes, just close right away. Don't do any more talking. Shut up and close, right? We're going to say, great. Would today at 2 or tomorrow at 4 work better for you? If they say no, we can still dive back in. See, Joe, I ask this because I have a fiduciary responsibility to all of my clients to get them the most amount of money for their home in the least amount of time with the least amount of stress. And although we are not working together yet, I know I can do this for you in the next 30 days. And here's why. Not only most sellers, but most agents, Joe, right now they're taking off. In fact, they started taking off since Halloween, got worse at Thanksgiving, and it is really bad now. However, right now that buyer urgency is at an all-time high, and I guarantee I can get you more for your home this holiday season than you ever thought was possible. So here's what I'd like to do. I want to come over today at 2 or maybe tomorrow at 4 and show you in 30 minutes how I can get more for your home than you ever thought was possible before the end of the year in 30 days or less. So does today at 2 work, or would tomorrow at 4 be better? Don't let these expireds outscript you. You have the opportunity to get this done now. And the last 2 scripts, these are going to be for those people that just are not having it, right? The ones that don't want to do it now, they're going to wait no matter what. This is trying to set you up for success. We're going to hit on buyers first and then sellers. I want you to remember, as you're doing these scripts, right, as you're having these conversations, some will, some won't, so what next? So if you can't close someone today on one of the first 5 scripts, don't beat yourself up, but also don't give up and wait for them to call you, because someone that's more aggressive or a better scripter is going to come in there and snatch them up, right? If you had this conversation with someone today and they say no, and they're waiting till January 1st, if I talk to them between now and January 1st, I'm getting them. And you're going to have missed out. And I don't want you guys to do that. So let's talk buyers. Joe, I understand that you don't want to be bothered with looking at homes during the holidays. And honestly, I get it. And you can wait if you want. But listen, I have a fiduciary responsibility to you to help you get the best deal in the least amount of time with the least amount of stress. And I feel if you are not in the market right now, you might miss out on that opportunity. See, here's the thing, with prices on the rise, as well as rates, This may be the only lull in the action we've seen in years or will see for years to come. And I don't want you to miss out on this potentially once in a lifetime opportunity. So if you absolutely refuse to see homes now, I get it. But let's book an appointment for New Year's Day to look at homes so that while everyone is still battling that New Year's Eve hangover, you still might be able to take advantage of the last remaining deals that are left over from 2021. So for January 1st, does 2 o'clock or does 4 o'clock work better? If they are just going to hold that to you, book them on January 1st, because it's true. People are still in slow motion. And this year, New Year's is over the weekend. But once that Monday after New Year's hits, guys, it is all over for those buyers. They are right back to being in trouble. So you need to do that. You do have a responsibility to them, right? You sign a buyer's agreement or decide to work with them. Your job is to get them the best deal with the least amount of money, least amount of stress, and the least amount of time. And if you're allowing them to wait until January 3rd to get back in the game, you're failing. So you need to get them ready. Now let's talk sellers before we wrap this up. So Joe, I understand that you don't want to be bothered with showings during the holidays. And honestly, I get it. You can wait if you don't mind missing out on some early New Year's buyers. But here's an idea for you if you want to hit the ground running in the new year. Even if we started today, I don't think too many people will bother you for showings until after the new year. However, it can take a week or 10 days to fully get a house listed and start all the marketing. It might work better to go ahead, get started between the holidays, so that once we hit the new year and buyers start looking, your house is already being marketed. So do you want to capture some showings as soon as people are ready to start looking? Great. Are you available today at 2 or tomorrow at 4? Guys, if you cannot get them to list now and you have to black out the days between now and the end of the year, or put it as coming soon, or put it with a marketing date of January 1, get in there and get this listing signed now. Because if you don't, someone else is going to sneak up and steal that thing. And I don't want you guys to miss out on that. Do not take no for an answer here. It is okay to have a listing with a marketing date that's later. If there's nothing wrong with signing that listing agreement now, starting to prep, right? Getting photos and staging and cleaning and little things fixed, and then just not putting them in action until January 1st, if that is really a hurdle. But if you let them sit for the next 18 days and twiddle their thumbs, mark my words, half of them are going to get sold by someone else, right? And you don't want to miss out on that. So, and I don't want you to. So in summary, what you need to do before the end of the year is call people and say things. Nice and simple today, right? Call people, say things. If we do that, we're going to be successful. I know some of the people on this call are just not going to pick up the phone. And if that is you and you're willing to miss out on this great opportunity, at least send some of these things or a version of them as a text, as a Facebook message, as an email, as a handwritten note, whatever. Take some versions of these and get them out there. If you want the scripts, you need to join my private Facebook group. I'm going to put the link up in a minute. That is the only place I'm going to put them, but I will make them available for download by tomorrow. So you can have these scripts if you want to use them. As always, thank you guys for your business. We appreciate it. We do have 2 more Monday Zooms before the end of the year, next 2 Mondays at 2 o'clock. So make sure you're there for that. Carrie, thank you as always for the slides and making everything look nice. Coming up next week, we're doing 5 reasons to be thankful you'll be in real estate in 2022. We're going to talk about tactics, strategies, and reasons that it is positive that you are in real estate right now with some things that you can take advantage of that no one else is thinking of. So make sure you're here next week at 2 for that. And if we're not already connected, here's all my social media, my email. If you want the scripts, pull out your phone, open up your camera, and scan that QR code on the left side of the slide. And it will take you right to my private Facebook group. And I want you to request access. It is private, so I have to accept it. Go in there and request access. And the next time I get on social media, I will accept it for you. And then I'll have the scripts in there by tomorrow. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to either type them in the chat or unmute and jump on. And if not, have a great day.